All right, what's up, everybody? Happy Friday. We are back after a week away here. Now I got to readjust my camera once again. All right, welcome everyone to Kiss Meets the Podcast 4K, the Crazy Crazy Kiss Countdown. I'm one of your hosts, Eli Clausen.
And I am Luke Neely.
Yeah, I am Savannah Royster.
And she's a knitting.
Crochet.
Ooh.
That's an evil word in the world of crochet when you don't know it, when you don't knit.
You guys may recognize our guest with us. This week it looks like he's left nut again. Chris from the Kiss and Tail podcast. What's up, man?
Just getting off work, man, and thankful for another opportunity to be on this show, and appreciate all you guys and all you've done for our podcast and to promote it, and just looking forward to this show today.
Likewise, man. You guys are killing it, man. You're coming up with some great topics every week. I enjoy watching, and you guys see the channel there once again, Kiss and Tail. Please go over to their YouTube, subscribe, and since the last time Chris joined us, they also now have a Facebook group as well. So please go hop in there, join there. You know, a lot of great conversation going on there. Chris is always posting some interesting polls and stuff that kind of tie into what their upcoming show is going to be about. So a lot of goodness going on over there. Yeah, you guys are definitely doing a great job.
Appreciate it, brother.
Yep. All right, so we are here to do Rock and Roll Over this week. Definitely a classic album. It's one of them that, you know, there's so many strong Kiss albums in the catalog that I love, and you know, and then every time I listen to Rock and Roll Over, it just reminds me how good this album is. It's not that I like forget how good it is, but it's just like you get to where you get these other albums in your head, and then you put this one on again, and it's like it's a big smack in the face, like don't forget about me. You know, I'm a powerhouse of an album too.
Yep.
So we have a lot to catch up on, of course, since we were away for a week here. So as usual, we got some comments and some polls, and a lot of interesting things going on.
Yep, for sure. So let's do some comments first. We got several comments on a couple of weeks episode. Let's see, a couple of weeks ago, right? Yeah, Destroyer.
Mm-hmm.
Got some comments on it.
I know it feels like it's been a month for some reason. But
Yeah, it really does. It's weird.
Yeah.
So we got an episode from geez. So a comment from Kiss and Tail. I saw Kiss and Tail, so I thought episode. So I assume this is from Chris, actually. In reference to us wondering why in the world anybody would dislike Destroyer, I assume the comment says, it's become fashionable for Kiss fans to bash Destroyer, whereas the non-Kiss fans will always point to that being the Kiss album and songs they're familiar with. Absolutely true.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess they've kind of wore thin on beating up on Elder and Unmasked now all these years, so now they're focusing on Destroyer.
They had to pick the least likely one that anybody would figure.
Yeah.
Also, another one here, also from Kiss and Tail, says Ezrin was the perfect guy for the job due to Destroyer being a pivotal moment in their careers. Coming off their first successful album, they needed to show depth and growth, and that's what he got out of them. His production on the album is exactly what they needed at the time, from the children laughing on God of Thunder to the eerie-sounding Rock and Roll Party. They needed someone to highlight their musical growth, and Ezrin did just that. No producer ever got so much out of Peter Criss as Ezrin did.
Hey, that is true. You know, the stories are there that Ezrin pretty much put him through boot camp recording those drums.
Yep. And Bob's gone on record several times as saying, sure, he may have used Dick Wagner for a couple of bits of lead guitar, but every bit of drumming on Destroyer is Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Which, coming from the king of just getting someone else to do it, pretty impressive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, that again says a lot about Peter's playing itself, is he just has that right feel and the way he plays it. You know, I don't know if anyone else, hey, look at this. We got Crazy Kiss Countdown joining us in the chat. It's our evil twin.
I was super confused. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Uh-oh.
I assume that's Dad then.
Yeah. Man, I forget what I was saying now, but anyway.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got. We've got several comments from Robbie Stars here. Let's just jump in. His first is in reference to Destroyer. He gave us his votes for Destroyer. His top 3 were Sweet Pain, King of the Nighttime World, and Detroit Rock City. We got those factored in.
Nice to see Sweet Pain in his top 3. That's kind of a surprise, even though, you know, we were talking about how much, you know, that song's underrated.
Yeah, absolutely. Seems like this was the wrong day to do a podcast, man.
I tell you,
neither me or you can speak today.
I tell you what, I had my first chiropractic appointment today, and after all that popping and cracking and everything else they did to me, I'm just like,
Nice.
But it was nice. I do feel a little relief already just on the first visit.
That's good. So Robbie says, I don't dislike Destroyer, but I was never a big fan of it growing up during the Kiss Mania 70s era because it sounded nothing like the first 3 studio albums. Plus, it reminded me of an Alice Cooper album, as I can hear Alice singing most of these songs, which isn't a bad thing. But why, Dick Wagner, why? Still to this day, it bugs me that Dick Wagner played on a lot of this too. It ruined that original Kiss magic for me until the next few albums came out. The older I get, the more uninterested I am with this album, and maybe because Kiss has overplayed most of this album live over the last 20 plus years, other than 3 or 4 songs off of it, it's definitely one of my least favorite albums. I do like Resurrected more than the 76 version and love Ace's solo on Sweet Pain. Actually, Ezrin was on Eddie Trunk 2 months ago and said Ace is on the Flaming Youth solo, just Wagner punched in a few notes over Ace's because it needed more justice to it. I'll give this album a 6. I'm glad you cleared that up, Robbie. I was confused when Wikipedia said that Dick Wagner had played on Flaming Youth too.
Yeah, and to be fair, I mean, it's not like Dick Wagner did more than what, just a solo and a couple little small parts here. That's like, to me, that's not being all over the album. You know, I don't think it really affects it too much. I mean,
yeah,
it obviously got a lot worse later in the career.
Oh yeah,
you know, it's like Psycho Circus and things like that. But
even just starting with Dynasty, I mean,
yeah.
You know, we're right on the precipice, even where we are right now, with the originals actually playing anything at all. You know.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Sure.
Do you think that the fans of Aerosmith give Joe Perry as much flack as Kiss fans do Ace? Because in the first Aerosmith album, Joe Perry didn't play one lick on the whole album. It was all Dick Wagner.
Oh, no kid.
Wow.
They probably don't even know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ezrin gave the producing rights over to his protege, if I recall, and he did not like Joe Perry's tone at all. So he brought in Wagner, and Wagner played on that whole first album.
Wow.
Yeah, that's insane. So yeah, there you have it. I mean, yep. That seemed to be Bob Ezrin's thing, was just, let's go get somebody else to do it. You know, because it was the same even on Revenge. I mean, to tell Bruce Kulick to go sit a song out and have somebody else play, that's insane. You know?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I would like to know, like, did he even try to work with, say the Joe Perry thing? Did he try? Or how much did he try, if he did? Or how long did he try before he did pretty much say, okay, let's just bring this guy in. I mean, either like if that's the case, that's just I don't know, man. It's it's almost a slap in the face in a way, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
I know those guys were just getting started and everything, but I mean that's your you know, it's your band, it's your album, it's you know everything to it. But
And as well, you know, now that we have Destroyer resurrected, rather, we can hear, we can hear Ace's original solo, and it's great. It's fine. I like it just as much as the one that ended up on it. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, he must have been kind of a hard man to please, I guess. You know. So let's see what else we got. We got a comment from Thomas Rain and Adams down here, who also gave rankings for Destroyer. So we got those in there as well. His top 3: Flaming Youth, Detroit Rock City, and God of Thunder. He also says, I give it a 4, which is higher than he gave it last time. This note is for Resurrected, he says. Worst production of all time. The whole room on the drums is insane. The guitars are thin, and the clean guitars behind the heavy riffs and Sweet Pain don't fit. Thank God Ezrin realized the production failures and corrected many on Resurrected. Oh, and the cover of Resurrected is better one for my eyes. That said, I love this version of God of Thunder, and now comes the fun with Rock and Roll Over. Kiss and Tail was great.
Yes, they are. You know that it's totally arguable about Destroyer Resurrected. You know, not everybody in the band itself was happy with that. So I mean, that says a lot right there. I know Peter was pretty unhappy with the way the drums sound on it now. He felt like, you know, why touch it? Me personally, I mean, I thought it. I don't mind it. I think it's cool. It's you know, to me, it's just like these. A lot of these newer Beatle reissues that come out where, you know, the drums sound a little better and stand out more. Like, to me, it's kind of cool to get stuff like that every now and then. But yeah, I mean, when not everybody in the band was even happy with that, it's like that says something.
Right. Yeah. And I think at this point, there's only so much that even Bob Ezrin can do to that stuff, because he's famous for recording effects. Other producers have often complained about that. People that have mixed Destroyer era songs for greatest hits compilations say that they can't really even do that much to those songs, because any reverb, any delay, any effect at all is recorded onto that track. The dry signals are gone. So anything that's on the original Destroyer is also on that Resurrected. He just may have compressed it and EQ'd it different.
Right.
Which is, you know, kind of an interesting thought to have cleaned it up that much without changing any of the reverbs or delays or anything.
I just can't believe they didn't put, you know, a DVD or even like a YouTube video that kind of showed them in the studio working on that and some of the things they did. And
that would have been so cool.
Yeah, that's kind of stuff we want to see too. I mean, again, referencing the Beatles again, you know, we always saw so many, you know, documented things of George Martin and them sitting in the studio showing what they did on this track and isolating this track, and here's a random, you know, acoustic solo that didn't even make it into the song that happened to be recorded, you know, stuff like that. And
yeah.
Hey, Robbie Stars, what's up, man? Says, hey guys and gals, listening to Rock and Roll Over as I'm texting. It might be the band's best album. We'll see. Yes, give us your overall once you're done, man.
Oh, he already has.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We also had Stephen Rochelle's picks roll in as you were talking.
Yep, I'll have to get those in as well. Yes, just a couple more comments. 2 more from Robbie. We'll read those since he's here. First off, he gave us his rankings for Rock and Roll Over, so we've got those in and ready to go. His top 3 this time are Making Love, Hard Luck Woman, and I Want You. He also notes this possibly is the hardest Kiss album to rank.
It is, especially, you know, ranking each song, because again, it's just pretty much another greatest hits album.
Robbie also says, Rock and Roll Over is one of the best Kiss albums easily, but for me, I didn't have this one growing up until Creatures came out. But my friend had it in the 70s, and I dug it, definitely. But by then, I was into Creatures, but thought that at the time, Rock and Roll Over was a fairly good 70s record. But I always liked the Love Gun through Creatures era the best. But now I'd have to say in 2020, it's a solid effort and possibly my favorite 70s album. I love every song on it and has become one of my favorite Kiss albums, especially the opening track, Calling Dr. Love and Making Love. Definitely an upgrade over Destroyer as a whole, and Ace played on every song. A top 5 album for me, I'd give it a 10. And then the last comment we've got is from Chuck McFarland here. He says, I love the show, but please define how you're ranking the songs and albums. Detroit Rock City was downgraded because of the intro, and I agree, but Beth was upgraded because of the way it sounds on Resurrected. Also, Do You Love Me was kind of rated on the way they do it live.
Who upgraded it because of Resurrected? I know I didn't.
No, I made mention of the fact that I liked the Resurrected version better because of the acoustic guitar, but I didn't rank it higher because of that.
Beth was upgraded because of Peter Criss. If it, his voice is what makes it.
Yep.
I don't know. I thought we were fairly clear. I mean, we go through the album where we go track by track. Each of us gives it our ranking, like in most cases 1 through 10, because most of these albums are 10 tracks right now. Whereas we used to just go through our, okay, my number 10 is, and blah, 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 and down, so forth. Well, that got to be a little too much, we'd pretty much be repeating each other. So I don't know. If that's not clear enough, I'm sorry.
Yeah. We talk a lot about, yeah. We talk a lot about just general thoughts on each song too. You know what I mean? And that doesn't always play into how we ranked it.
Yeah, and we've always said from the beginning, we're not going to sit here and rank every album a 10 and every song is my number 1, and everything is great. And it's just there would be no point of doing this.
It's interesting, Luke, that you say that you like the Resurrection version better on Beth because of the acoustic. And my favorite version of that song is the version off Kiss Meets the Phantom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
By far.
Yep. And honestly, I think that's the same acoustic track.
Okay.
I think they just muted the orchestra. Well, I may be wrong there, but I think it might just, at that point, that would have been the easiest thing to do. It sure sounds like the album vocal to me.
Yeah, I mean, I wish they would have released that version officially, or I still wish they would have put out like a more of an official Phantom soundtrack, even. But
right,
wishful thinking there. Because I'm one of those people I'm a fan of just those little subtle musical, whatever you want to call them, those little drops that they put in there in certain parts, and and when they're in the haunted house and everything, and I'd love to just have that piece of music and stuff too. I wish they'd release that stuff.
Yep.
Is that all the comments?
Yes. So we can roll through the polls real quick, like here. So we gotta talk about 2 weeks of results since we skipped last week. We'll just kind of run down through this real quick. We had Hotter Than Hell versus Not For The Innocent. Hotter Than Hell wins with 62%. We also had Dreamin' versus Tears Are Falling. Tears Are Falling wins with 75%. Thief in the Night versus Love Gun, which was a pretty ha-ha. Love Gun wins, of course, with 86%. All Night versus Magic Touch. Yeah, how else do you say it? All Night. Magic Touch wins with 82%. Love 'Em and Leave 'Em versus Killer. Maybe the most surprising result. Love 'Em and Leave 'Em wins with 95%.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just killing Killer. I didn't expect it to lose that bad. Mainline versus Strutter 78. Mainline wins with 62%.
Good.
Getting into last week's results here, we've got See You Tonight versus Let Me Go Rock and Roll. Let Me Go Rock and Roll wins with 71%. Torpedo Girl versus Going Blind. Going Blind wins with 94%. Another big win. Which, by the way, that's 100% thanks to Eli voting for Torpedo Girl at the last second. Until like half an hour ago, Going Blind had 100% of the vote.
Yeah, I had to view the page as a guest on our own show's page. I had to do it as a guest to be able to vote.
Ridiculous.
Thanks, Facebook.
Yeah. We had Wouldn't You Like to Know Me versus Mr. Speed. Mr. Speed wins with 62%. Ladies Room versus the rock and roll over version of See You in Your Dreams. Ladies Room wins with 87%.
Thank God.
Right. We also had We Are One versus Got to Choose. Got to Choose wins with 65%. And then we've got the ones that we just posted this week. You can check these out on Facebook right now. Head over and cast your votes. This is the final set of matches for round 2. So next
and
week.
wasn't that quick?
Yeah, geez, yeah.
We're gonna like round 1 took ever.
Yeah, it did.
Round 1 took like 6 months, and round 2 was like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna be starting round 3 already, and it's just gonna get quicker and quicker. Each round takes half the amount of time as the previous. So 7 matches this week instead of 6 because I'm a moron and I forgot to post one of the matches last week. So, and ironically, it was the match that included "Talk to Me." So I think it was a subconscious, because "Talk to Me" is an awful song. So if you head over to our page right now, you can vote on the following polls. We've got "Talk to Me" versus "King of the Nighttime World." So everyone go don't for "Talk to Me." We've got Shandy versus "Get All You Can Take." Firehouse versus "Strange Ways." You Make Me Rock Hard versus "Great Expectations." Shock Me versus "Nothing to Lose." All American Man versus "War Machine." And finally, Dirty Livin' versus "Lick It Up."
Dirty licking.
Yes.
Robbie Starr says, I remember hearing Calling Dr. Love and Hard Luck Woman on my local radio station back in early 77 and played a lot. Great question here. Robbie asks, what was the first Kiss song that we all heard on the radio?
That's a good question.
Chris,
I can't answer it because I don't remember. I couldn't tell you.
More than likely, mine was Rock and Roll All Night Live. I can pretty much bet that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that one or even Detroit Rock City. I would say we're, either one of those would have been the ones I would have chosen for what I heard first. But for sure, I don't know.
Chris, do you remember?
Yeah, it was Rock and Roll All Night Live.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Luke?
It was probably Rock and Roll Night Live. Now, I don't specifically remember because I don't really listen to too much radio, and I don't recall my family having done so growing up much either. The most recent I recall hearing, just as I was working, I used to work at Dollar General here in town, and they played a local classic rock station that would occasionally play reruns of an old top 40. And once as I was working, I actually heard Calling Dr. Love, and that baffled me because they never played Kiss at all, ever. Yeah. And just all of a sudden, I'm hearing Dr. Love playing in a Dollar General. It was pretty funny, and that's the only time I recall hearing Kiss on the radio.
Now, if I can kind of cheat a little bit and say, like when MTV was, fairly new, and because at first they had a radio frequency that you can tune your radio to listen to the music that way as you watch the videos. So it probably would have been, I would say, Lick It Up. As far as like MTV, that's probably the first Kiss video that I saw, probably, which I'm thinking I probably Well, more than likely, I saw that before I saw the Animalized concert. I would imagine.
I think the first Kiss video I ever saw was the Creatures.
Ooh,
I mean, not Creatures, but yeah, thank you. I love it.
Yeah, love that video, man. Such a good video.
I was thinking when you were talking, like, Eli, I think the most obscure Kiss song I ever heard on the radio, and I think I've told you guys this, was Radioactive off the Gene Simmons solo album.
No kidding.
I remember you saying that. Yeah.
I think the most obscure I've heard on my radio station is the studio version of Rock and Roll All Night. Had to call into the radio station. You guys feeling okay down there?
Yeah.
You know what you're playing, right?
You played the wrong version, the good version. The wrong version.
I had a random thought the other day, and I wanted to ask you guys your opinion. This is really nothing to do with this album or anything, but as I was listening to some of the Ace solo album the other day, and I got to thinking, like, you know, let's say this is just one of them what ifs, but you know, kind of similar to, you know, how Eric Singer kind of got involved with the group by being the drummer for Paul on his solo tour. So let's say on Ace's solo album, instead of Anton Fig, let's say that's when he discovered Eric Carr, and Eric Carr drummed on Ace's solo album and then went on to eventually become the member of Kiss. You know, how much different, or maybe, dare I say, better could Ace's album have sounded with maybe Eric drumming? Because if you listen to a lot of that drumming, it's somewhat similar in a way to some of the stuff that Eric did.
Definitely an interesting thought.
Yeah. So, Eli, you're a drummer, correct?
Yes.
So I'll defer to you because you have more knowledge about drums than I do. But I've always heard, and you know, just people talking, that Anton Fig is held in pretty high regard as a drummer.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how much it would have improved or not.
I mean, that's why I say, you know, like, I almost hate to say the word better, because it's, you know, but it's more different. Yeah. You know, maybe it would have had a bit more of an even heavier edge to it, let's say, possibly, had Eric come in. You know, I definitely am not taking anything away from Anton. I love Anton. You know, the stuff he did on Ace's album, the stuff he did on Dynasty, Unmasked, you know, even other projects that he's done, and, you know, whatnot, you know. But it was just one of them kind of random thoughts.
Yeah. You know, I would definitely, if there were a way to hear something like that, I would definitely love to hear it. I'm not sure, if I'm being completely honest with myself, I'm not 100% sure I'd call it better. Stylistically super different, I think, yeah. But I think you're right about having kind of a heavier edge, because Eric had to, I feel like he would have played it more, maybe powerfully is the right word to use, whereas Anton has more of a, almost like a progressive kind of touch, whereas I never really felt that Eric had that sort of a thing.
Right. Absolutely.
Be like comparing maybe John Bonham with Ginger Baker or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they both,
Absolutely.
You know, both would do an excellent job, but there would be a bit of a noticeable difference. But not that one is necessarily better than the other, you know, to put it that way.
Right.
Yeah, and I think part of it, because, you know, like, again, at the same time, Car Jam came on, and I got to thinking, like, what was that even recorded for anyway? And, you know, we all know it was Ace on there originally playing with him, and it's like, what was that meant to be for? You know, we that's one thing I feel like we don't know. Was it just a random jam session? Was it actually meant to be on an album as a part of a song or something? I just don't know. And I've always been kind of curious.
We are led to believe it was just a demo, but man, those drums sound awfully good for just a demo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, don't be fooled, gentlemen. That Michael McDonald over there is not the Doobie Brother lead singer. That's actually Mike 100,000 watts.
Oh, what's up, man?
How's it going, Mike?
I was gonna say, man, should have brought him on with you. He's more than welcome.
Yeah, he's a hoot, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we had a blast with Mike, man. I like watching him. Hopefully, we can do that again at some point.
Yes, sir. Y'all just let me know.
Yep. All right. Well, I guess we'll get back on track here, and we'll get into this album info and get her rolling.
All righty.
Mike says, "What up, Kiss family? What's up, man?"
Yes. Good to see you. So Rock and Roll Over is the 5th studio album by American rock band Kiss. This was released November 11th, 1976, so we're about a month away from the anniversary there. Or, I'm sorry, 2 months away. Getting ahead of myself. This was recorded from September to October of 1976 and recorded at the Star Theater in New York City. This album was produced by Eddie Kramer, who should be a very familiar name to most Kiss fans. Of course, he produced Alive. He produced the pre-first album, Demo, and went on to produce several more Kiss albums as well. As far as personnel, this is just very absolutely straight. It's a lot like the first 3 albums. We've got Paul Stanley, who did vocals, rhythm guitar, and also the first guitar solo on I Want You, as well as some acoustic guitar. Ace Frehley, who played lead guitar, the second guitar solo on I Want You, and backing vocals. Gene Simmons on vocals, bass guitar, and apparently rhythm guitar on Ladies' Room. And Peter Criss, who did drums, percussion, and vocals. This album got up to number 11 on the U.S. Billboard 200. It is certified platinum at the moment, and its singles were Hard Luck Woman and Calling Dr. Love.
Robbie Starr says, "Shout out to Kiss and Tales, super podcast."
We appreciate that, Robbie. Thank you so much.
I think old Mike is calling you out, Luke. He said Vinnie Vincent.
Oh, you caught me. You caught me. Let me just draw that design on real quick.
I'm still waiting for that video of you singing Cold Gin as Vinnie Vincent, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Yes. Eli, do you actually have that on your computer somewhere?
I believe I do.
I've got the disc you gave me somewhere.
Once we get off live here, I'll double check, and then I can make that happen.
Nice.
All right, so that's all the info, huh?
Yep. Somebody needs to get on Wikipedia here and put some more, because this album's very bare in comparison to the Wikipedia pages for most of their other albums.
Yeah, they don't even say anything about, some of the recording process and how they did it, and because we pretty much all know, what they went into basically a hall, like a music hall, and basically recorded it as if they were live, and a lot of, especially with the drums, there was a little bit of, I think there was a bit of tricks that they put on with the drums as far as getting some natural reverb and stuff.
Right. I've heard opposing stories concerning that too, which is interesting, because I've heard this several times, and it even says it on Wikipedia that to get the proper drum sound, Peter Criss recorded his tracks in a bathroom, communicating via video link with the rest of the band, and they do sound like that. But I'm pretty sure in the Behind the Makeup book, they were talking about how his drums were set up on an actual stage, and that and the reason they remember that is because some of the engineers were messing around riding skateboards down the venue ramp, and somebody crashed into his drums, and the mics just went all over everywhere, and at the last second they had to just replace everything and hope that it was where it was supposed to be. Well, it couldn't have, that can't be true if the drums were recorded in a bathroom.
Yeah, if that is true, I can imagine Peter's reaction to that.
Yeah.
And I think I told you, Luke, I always heard that the bathroom recording happened on the Hotter Than Hell album. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird because the whole thing about, setting up on on a stage or something, and having a monitor to view. I know that story was with Bobby Rock on Vinnie Vincent Invasion. I know that's how he said they did the drums for that too. So it's kind of odd that they either replicated that or maybe somehow that information got crisscrossed with each other.
Right.
Mike says Tommy Thayer rocks. Playing drums in the bathroom, that's efficient. You can drop a load and make a beat.
Oh, Mike, don't get started, Mike.
Oh man,
be nice, Mike. Be nice.
Oh, that's great.
I'm gonna have to try that. I'm gonna drag my electric kit here into the bathroom.
So you're gonna go take a baby driver?
Ooh. Yeah. I think we know what your number 10 is.
Yes.
We got you, Mike. I corrected it. Make a beat. Make a bear.
Make a bear. I think Mike's kind of anxious because we're not going to record this weekend. We're going to take a week off. So.
Oh, yeah.
He's got to get it out here. That's good.
Right.
I need a laugh today. That is for sure.
Well, you're welcome to pop in on video if you want. All righty. Let's jump into this here. So, as we all know, first track, I Want You. Chris, where are you ranking this?
All right. I Want You, I got at my number 3. And I just think it's an amazing song from start to finish. I think up to that part in their history, or in their history, so to speak, that was the best vocal performance Paul had ever done as a member of KISS. I mean, it's just the low notes, the high notes, the screaming. I mean, he has it all in that song. And I like how it starts off really slow and then builds up to this big crescendo. And I think I told you guys that was my first album I ever bought from KISS. And when I put that song on, it kind of started out mellow. I was kind of like, eh. And then when it kicked in, I was hooked. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And so I Want You, for me, is just like one of the all-time great songs. And it doesn't get enough love by the KISS Army or by the band themselves. I mean,
I agree.
That's kind of my take on it.
I feel like that should be one of them songs that's always in the set list too. Mike said 4.5 Lion Man.
Yeah, it's good. Good rating.
Savannah.
I Want You, I ranked at number 5 this time, and I don't remember who said it, but this is an album that was very hard to rank. Because there's just, all the songs are just so good that it's hard. It was more like whatever my number 10 is, just was because I had to put it somewhere, and I think KISS is very good at giving false beginnings to songs. The way they start sometimes, are almost never how they end up sometimes, and this song is a good example of that. Starts off with the kind of slow, you think that it could almost like be a ballad when you first hear it for the first time, and then it just takes off. It just kicks off, And they're very good at doing this. They have always been very good at doing this. They give you that like false sense of, how the song's going to sound, and then it's like, nope, it totally changes. And I think it was a good opening for the album, because it kind of gives you that false sense that it's going to be like, different, and then it's like, nope, it's classic KISS, it kicks in, and then even that slower part at the beginning has just an energy and this feeling to it, and this is a song that just kind of has a little bit of everything in it.
Absolutely. Also number 5 for me. Totally agree. Looking at this, following Destroyer, the way Destroyer is that real kind of apocalyptic, kind of feel to it, especially the way the album ends, and even that little rock and roll party piece, and then here comes the beginning of Rock and Roll Over. What to expect, and then you hear that all of a sudden everything's calm again, and the acoustic, and then it just takes off. And Chris, I agree with what you were saying. I mean, Paul just hits all kinds of crazy notes on this song, and if you think about it, it probably is the first of the Kiss catalog at this point where he really is starting to kind of show that true Star Child frontman persona per se. But yeah, it's a great album opener. It definitely kind of makes you think of Black Diamond in a way at first, because the same idea with the acoustics and all, but once it kicks in, pedal to the metal, of course, the way they stretch it out live and do the whole call and response thing is another plus that I like on the live side of things with this song. But just a solid opener.
Yep, number 6 for me, and I made a couple of notes, but you guys said it already. Everything you said, absolutely agree. I hadn't thought of that, what Chris said about this being like the best Paul vocal up to this moment, but yeah, absolutely agree.
All right, next up, we still have Paul taking over the reins here. We got Take Me. Where you got this one, Chris?
This is number 8 for me. I like Ace's solo. I thought it was a pretty decent solo. But, I mean, I know this is kind of, I don't know. To me, the lyrics are kind of lazy and a little too cheesy. It's kind of like a Come On and Love Me Part 2 as far as the lyrics, It's like, but I prefer Come On and Love Me a lot more than I do this one. So for me, it's like, if I'm listening to it, the album, I'm probably going to skip that song, to be honest. So for me, it's my number 8.
All right.
This was number 1 for me.
Oh.
And I think it's just the ahs in the song are just, it's my favorite thing about it. And then the guitar playing along with it just fits it perfectly. It's just another good song that you can just jam to, and I wish that this song could have gotten more recognition and become one of the bigger hits, personally, for me. It's great vocally. I like the way he sings. It is corny and cheesy. I mean, yeah, it's definitely a Come On and Love Me Part 2. I agree with that for sure. But I like the riffs in it, and the solo I thought was good, and it's just a song that you could definitely just sing along to and jam to. So it just struck me. I don't remember if I ranked this album the last time, what I ranked it, but it struck me right this time.
Number 3 for me. One of my favorite Paul songs, period. It's got such a great driving groove. Maybe, off the top of my head, this might be the first, super perverted Paul song out of the catalog. There's classic lyrics, but I love the solo, and how when they add the little the harmony to the solo part. I wish this would have stayed on Alive 2. Again, jumping ahead, but this should have been on there. This song translates so well live. Dare I say maybe even better live. But such a great Paul track, and it's one that I wish was still in the set list today. And just another solid. Paul just owns this album already. I'm done.
Actually, was that?
I said I'm done.
Oh, okay. I thought you said hold up for some reason. Number 1 for me too. This is actually one that's kind of jumped up my list. I think it was high for me last time I did this one too, but this is one of the many that when we jammed, I didn't realize how much I enjoyed this song until I played it. I think it has that great beat to it. I enjoy playing the solo. The ahs are a really catchy bit. I gotta say though, although I laugh every time, I really hate that ridiculously high background vocal when they do this live. It ruins the live version.
Oh yeah.
For me. Yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
If we jam this one and you do that, I laugh because it's funny. But I can't believe they honestly did that and thought it was okay.
But man, watch one of the videos from that tour and just, especially Gene. Watch Gene during this song. He is just like all over that, jumping up and down, landing on his, he's all over on this song. It's just such a great visual as much as it is, to listen to it. So speaking of Gene, he's going to take over here. Calling Dr. Love. Calling Dr. Chris. What you got?
All right. So Dr. Love would have been a lot higher for me if I was younger, because I think in the 70s I loved it a lot more. But for me, I got it at number 4 on this album. And I think some of it has to do with now when I hear that song, I automatically think of the Dr. Pepper commercials. I think that kind of kills it for me a little bit. But if I'm not mistaken, this song was a top 20 hit for them. I think it was like the top 16 or, number 16, something like that. When I was in college, me and some of my friends dressed up like Kiss for the talent show. And I was Gene, and this is the song that we did. And I remember after the show going through the girls' dormitory dressed up like Gene Simmons, and all of them screaming and went and take pictures with me and stuff like that. So, it's good. It's a good song. And the solo by Ace is incredible. It's a really underrated solo by him. It's a great solo.
Did you tell him you had a stiff proposition and
that they couldn't refuse?
Took him into your office and closed the door on the bathroom? Mike says Gene Simmons for president, Paul Stanley can be the first lady.
Come on, Eli, don't feed the bear, man. Don't feed the bear. Don't feed it.
The bear.
Yeah, but we all would have been sitting here laughing, and nobody would have been like, what's so funny? Oh, my God.
This is why you guys need to tune in to Kiss and Tell. This isn't even half of the stuff he cracks me up at. Javier, what is up, brother? Good to see you, brother.
How's it going?
Calling Dr. Love was number 4 for me as well. It's just always been one of my favorite Gene songs. His voice fits it great, and the feel of the song in general is just great. It has just a really great energy to it. And like Chris said, I always think of the Dr. Pepper commercial when I hear it. Every time I hear it now, that's all I think of. And
with a
and
kiss
like Chris
of
said,
cherry.
The solo in this song, and then the drums are solid with a lot of good fills in it, and it's all around again just a great song.
Number 6 for me. Again, it is. It's a classic song. Love the drumming. I mean, this is like, kind of syncopated drumming for Peter. It's a fairly underrated beat, and I've always said though, I tend to kind of lean towards the double platinum version of Dr. Love, to be honest. There's something different about that I just kind of like a little bit more, and I kind of tend to go to that version somewhat more often lately. But this is, don't get me wrong, great Gene song. I love it. I love, like Savannah mentioned, the fills. And, when it opens up at the end and Peter's just kind of riding on that big crash ride, and as it's starting to fade out, and, there's weird voices that are underneath and in the background, and those used to kind of creep me out somewhat when I was younger listening to this stuff. But, so great Gene track. The first Gene track we hear since, what was it, Sweet Pain, I believe, on Destroyer. So kind of a cool, resurgence of Gene to come back with this song if you're listening in that order.
Yep, this is my number 2, and this really is just an absolute classic Kiss song. You know what I mean? I don't say this to detract from God of Thunder, but I like this song more. Always have for some reason. I think this is a well-deserved addition to the Demon repertoire, even though he may not be sounding particularly demonic on this one. And yeah, this is one of my favorite Ace solos too. Especially, this is another bit that I didn't necessarily appreciate until playing this one with Sweet Pain. This was one of my favorite songs to play with the Kiss tribute, Sweet Pain.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're sticking with Gene here, and we're going into the ladies' room.
Okay, ladies' room for me is number 6, and I love the cowbell on it. I always wonder why the song never gets cowbell love, so to speak. You hear all these other songs being mentioned when people talk about cowbell. Nobody ever mentions ladies' room.
Yeah.
I like that's my favorite part of the song. Actually, is that cowbell. This is a typical Gene song, stroking his ego, so to say, and he's got so many girls after him that he's got to go to the bathroom to meet their demands, I guess. I don't know. Paul's in the back of the car with the girl's head down in his lap. Gene's meeting him in the bathroom. I don't know what's going on here, but to me, Ladies' Room is number 6. It's a pretty good song.
Maybe he was lactose intolerant, and he's just like, meet me in there just in case.
This one was number 9 for me, just because, again, I had to put it somewhere. I think this is a good kind of song to show off Gene's ability to sing kind of fairly low. But again, it fits him really well. And yeah, it's just another good old fashioned groupie song. I don't really know there's really much else to say about it other than that. It's just another nice groupie song.
Ladies' Room is number 1 for me.
Oh wow!
I absolutely love this track. It gets better and better every time I listen to it. Add this to the list of songs that are that feel good, just put you in a great mood. I love it. This song is a absolute perfect precursor to Christine 16. I feel like those two songs just go right together. Love. One of the things I like about this song too is, and it's another little subtle type of deal, but after the solo and they're going into that last chorus, for the my money you can't be, and that last you can't be too soon, I swear you can hear Ace a little bit, and it's like, it's kind of cool because that's like the first time you could really kind of notice Ace on any Kiss song, and up until obviously Shock Me, and just the way his little high note comes in on that, it just catches me every time. I love it, and just little things like that, and just a perfect song, and I'm kind of more of a fan of these kind of Gene songs than the demonic Gene songs per se. I like these more upbeat, songs about the girls and whatnot. So yeah.
Nice. Number 5 for me. This is becoming a thing for me now. This is yet another one that I appreciate more now that we jammed it recently. And also, for some reason, and I can't quite put my finger on it, I always feel like this song could have been on Dress to Kill. And I still can't quite feel why I feel that way. But a lot of times when people bring this song up, my brain defaults to Dress to Kill, and I have to remind myself, no, that one's on Rock and Roll Over.
That is true. There are similarities with both those albums, I think, because if you listen to a lot of these songs, you can hear a lot of that underlying acoustic stuff again, like they did with Dress to Kill, right, to kind of help fatten up the guitars,
make them fight.
All right, here's the moment we've been waiting for. Baby Driver, Chris.
All right, so Baby Driver for me is number 7.
Oh, okay.
I think didn't Peter write that song when he was in Lips, and then he brought it to Kiss?
I believe so.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I believe it kind of started that way.
And I always have wondered why they didn't use it in the movie Baby Driver. I mean, that just makes so much sense. But for whatever reason, that didn't happen. And I think it's a catchy song, but for me, it's a little too monotonous, a little too long-winded. But, you know, I like it when Peter screams. I like how he screams.
Absolutely.
You know. So for me, I got Baby Driver at number 7.
I could be wrong about the Peter writing it because, you know, and I just want to say that before we get hounded by the Kiss police. Because I do remember now on the demo version, Gene is actually singing on the demo, so I'm not sure who exactly has the credit to writing that. So.
According to Wikipedia, it's a rewrite of a Chris Penridge demo from Chris's pre-Kiss band Lips.
Oh, well, there you go. Maybe Gene kind of helped him rewrite the lyrics, and that's why he sang the demo. I don't know. Kind of interesting though when that leaked out a couple years ago. Those Rock and Roll Over demos, good stuff.
This is number 8 for me, and I honestly thought it was going to be number 10 because I can remember hearing this song before and just hating it and not liking it and thinking, oh, I could never hear that again. But this time when I listened to it, I mean, musically, it's just spot on. Like, I don't know if it just hit me in a different way this time. It's a little more heavy, a little more hard-hitting than, you know, some of the other songs. It fits the grittiness of Peter's vocals. It's not one of my favorite Peter songs, but, like, definitely not one of my least favorite either, I guess. This time. Why are people laughing?
Sorry, Mike says the Kiss Police got defunded.
I guess I should have known. Like, I should have looked over there. Yeah, it sounds like there's like some layering with the guitars, and I mean, it helps to just give it that little extra flavor, I think. So it wasn't in the bottom like I thought it was going to be this time.
Well, I can kind of relate here. It's my number 9. I tell you what, though, that intro is tricky, man, because you know, since we've been jamming on all these random Kiss songs lately, that's one that's that intro is a little tricky. That the way that guitar riff goes, and then trying to get that drum to come in right, you know, just the right time, and you know, it's definitely a little trickier than it sounds. You know, again, people that just write the stuff off as being cartoonish and nothing else. But yeah, just another, you know, not much needs to be said. Another great Peter song. You know, like I agree when he does that good, you know, raspy screaming over top like he's done in so many other tracks already. And you know, it's that perfect Peter style song. And you know, I love that little, you know, the way they go into that, because Peter does that little hit on the hi-hat that's, and then bam, 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 go baby driver. You know, that whole thing. That I love that part. Very catchy. Robbie says the guitar tones on Baby Driver are some of the best on a Kiss album. Great job by Mr. Kramer. Yeah, I have to agree, man. Not only that, but I'm a big fan of the whole drum sound on this whole album as well. A lot of those fills, those toms just really stand out, and you can hear every little tone from each, you know, from each one of the toms and everything. So very well done.
This is number 10 for me, actually. This is one of my least favorite Peter songs. The one standout feature is that guitar bit that Eli just sang. That is an awesome harmony guitar part. It's super catchy. It's the only thing about this song that ever gets stuck in my head. If we complain about "Do You Love Me" being too A-B, "Baby Driver" is A-A-A-A-A-B, A-A-A-A-A-A-B. So, you know, Yeah. So meh overall.
All right. Well, we hope you all have a stiff proposition because next up is Love 'Em and Leave 'Em.
Okay, Love 'Em Love 'Em and Leave 'Em for me is number 10. I think this is the start of the lazy songwriting by Gene Simmons. I think it would rear its head again in the 80s, where apparently, according to Bruce Kulick, he was looking through TV guides to find the names of titles to name the songs that he was coming up with, or he would just see a title of a movie in the TV guide and try to write words about it, according to Bruce. It's just, I don't know. This song never caught my attention, and it just feels like it's really lazy as far as the lyrics, and even the music to me sounds kind of lazy. But for me, Love 'Em and Leave 'Em, I'm going to leave them. I'm going to leave them at number 10.
This was number 7 for me. I feel like this whole album is it's chock full of just good rock songs. I mean, there's not really one that you want to skip at all. It's hard to find new things to say about each one just because they're all just good songs. So it's hard to, not repeat yourself over and over again. I feel like this is it's another great rock song that you can jam to really well with. It's got a fantastic solo in it and a great chorus to sing with.
Lion Man is a rock and roll genius.
I paid him to say that.
Love 'Em and Leave 'Em is number 8 for me. Yeah, I agree. Not the best Gene song in the whole catalog, but it does have its moments. I know, like a lot of the lyrics came from some other demos that he had written. I believe, like Rock and Roll's Royce and a couple other ones were what he borrowed some of the lyrics from to put into this. But love the promo video. Not to mention, because I know they did the video for this and Hard Luck Woman and what was it? I Want
Take
You.
Me, I think.
I think it was I Want You.
Oh, was it? I thought it was Take Me.
And for that matter, I wish they would have just done like a whole video album. That would have been so cool. But anyway, yeah. I mean that's one thing that saves me on this song is I always can't help but picture that video when I hear this song and talking about Gene bouncing around and he's just super animated in that video and the way he always does that fake bass playing, doing it over the top. He's really doing that in this video, and it's just funny to watch and very cool. But talk about again another groupie song, and it's fun to an extent, but it's like I say, it's probably towards the bottom of my Gene song list, I guess, if we had to put it that way.
I don't want to say mine now. This is number 4 for me. I really like this song. I thought about making it number 1. Let's move on.
Move On's on Paul's album. Sorry.
Right.
Okay,
Remember, music's in the ear of the beer holder, right?
Right.
All right. Well, next up is Mr. Speed.
All right, Mr. Speed for me is number 5. It's a really catchy riff. It's a fun song. I think it's underrated, and I think Ace did a really good little tricky riff on it. It's very catchy. It's got even kind of like a Motown groove to it.
Yeah.
It's more like almost like a funk groove to it. And I think that really highlighted Ace's catchiness as a guitar player. Like, you hear a lot of people say, his solos sound like songs within songs.
Absolutely.
And, people can relate to that. And, I always enjoyed Mr. Speed, although now I don't know if it would be such a compliment to call yourself Mr. Speed as it was in the 70s. Mr. Speed in the 70s meant you got around with a lot of different women, but now I think that might have a different meaning. So
Yeah.
So for me, it's number 5.
Now you're a player.
Mr. Speed is number 6 for me. Song puts me in mind of something, and I can't pinpoint what it is. Like as soon as it started, I was like, I think this is like, it reminds me of a theme song to a TV show or something, but I can't place it exactly what it is that it reminds me of. And I think this is a song that it sticks out from the others because it's a great song. It just it has a little bit of a different sound than the others on the album, I think. But it's another fantastic rock song that it's catchy and you want to sing it and you want to listen to it, and so number 6 for me.
Javier says Mr. Speed is a great song. Always kind of wondered why Leave Them Okay. I don't know. Mr. Speed is number 7 for me, and it is. I love that guitar intro. It definitely has that classic rock kind of sound to it. Like, that's probably one of the only songs of Kiss's that when I hear it, I'm like, okay, I could almost classify that in the classic rock realm. As to where I said in the past that I feel like their stuff doesn't sound classic rock to me. But anyway, there's I like the part where it's very reminiscent of Bang a Gong by T-Rex. When it comes to that bam 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 bam, kind of reminiscent of that. So I'm sure Paul sort of borrowed from that a little bit. But yeah, it's a very cool track, and you kind of picture Paul wearing one of them fur coats and the big pimp hat, strutting around singing this song or something in a disco, Studio 54 at the time. Robbie says, today Mr. Speed means Mr. Minuteman.
All right.
Javier says, now that we know he is Mr. Speed, it makes sense. And Mike says, all jokes aside, this album rocks and Savannah rocks.
Because I've said it like 100 times. It's hard not to describe it like that, though, because, it does. Like, there's really no other way to describe it, So, but, yeah. I do rock.
I've got Mr. Speed at number 3. I feel like this is perhaps one of Kiss's most underrated and oft-forgotten songs. The main riff of the song is, when I think about that, the thing that starts the track, that riff right there, is what I think kind of generalizes Kiss's early riffs, and I love everything about it. And it's also the reason that I've also said that the song Secretly Cruel from Asylum sounds more like early Kiss. The beginning riff of Secretly Cruel is it uses that same melodic pattern, the da 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 da, that the sweet Mr. Speed uses.
Yeah, great point. It definitely does. Yeah, they should have done this one on Unplugged. That would have sounded so cool acoustically. I know they've done it acoustically since, but man, they should have put it on there.
Yes.
It's a shame that song never made. Well, they never played the song live anyway, but it's a shame.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Next up is See You in Your Dreams.
For me, I got this at number 9. This song never really resonated with me. I think it was like Gene's attempt to write a Beatle-esque song. I don't know. He's kind of going for that Beatle vibe for me on this song. I think he failed miserably. I don't think he got anywhere close to it. And I think he thinks that too, and that's why he tried to redo it on the solo album.
Right. And I feel like he failed there too.
Yeah. He skinned both knees, huh? So,
yeah.
So, I would not be seeing this in my dreams anytime soon. So, for me, that's number 9.
Yeah, this is number 10 for me. And this isn't one of my favorite Gene songs. It's a good song, but I just feel vocally he sounds bored. and I'm used to Gene having just that growl and a fierceness, you know, in his vocals. And then, I mean, when he sings cleanly, it usually has more of a feeling to it. And I mean, this time it kind of felt like he just threw some vocals on it when he wasn't really, like, he didn't, like, it was a last minute, like, hey, we need you to do those vocals. And he was like, okay. And then he kind of just went in there and just kind of cranked it out. You know what I mean? It just doesn't really have a whole, it's just boring.
Well, I'm right there with you. It's my number 10 as well. You know, I don't hate the song. Like I said, there's not a Kiss song I absolutely hate, but it's definitely one that, like I said, I don't like the version that he redid on the solo album either. And this is one of them songs where every time I listen to this album, even just today listening to it again, I always think Hard Luck Woman's coming on next, but then it's See You in Your Dreams, and then when it's See You in Your Dreams, there's always a little part of me it's like but
Yeah.
you know, I don't skip it. I let it play, and yeah, you know, but what I said about Love 'Em and Leave 'Em, I think this probably is at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to Gene songs. You know, sorry, but it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, number 7 for me here, and yeah, I like this song. It is definitely a mid-road. There's nothing super special about this song for me. I do like hearing it. I think stylistically it fits with the others, but yeah, the only real note that I made here was I can't imagine what Gene thought wasn't good enough about this version enough to redo it, because the solo album one is terrible. I mean, I think this one's okay. The solo album one is me. Why redo?
I mean, it's almost like insulting in a way too. It's like, so you're gonna say the version that your band did as a whole, you're gonna say that wasn't good, and then you're gonna go redo it yourself as if we weren't good enough, you know, to do it with you or something. You know, that's kind of how it could come across, and
the weird
and
gospel background vocals.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it failed. I'm sorry, but you know, spoiler, big surprise. It's probably going to be my least favorite one when we get to that album.
Yeah.
The Gene solo.
Yeah. No. If you put that one below Wish Upon a Star,
That's exactly what I just thought in my head.
I will wonder what's wrong with you.
Watch me. Danger is my middle name. Robbie agrees with Luke. The song on Gene's record is horrendous. Oh, Lord. What did you give it, Luke?
7.
7, that's right. All right, we'll move Hard Luck Woman.
Hard Luck Woman for me was number 1. This is my favorite Peter song of all time. I don't think there's been a more perfect song written for his voice. And apparently Paul wanted to try to test the waters and give it to Rod Stewart, but Rod Stewart was on a whole different level at that time, and I don't even think he would give Paul Stanley the time of day, much less look at a song he wrote from him. And then I think Gene convinced Paul to let Peter sing it. And, you know, I always feel like, for whatever reason, there's been tension between Paul and Peter dating back, you know, probably to Hotter Than Hell. I think it really got bad in the recording studio then. And I think Paul always resented Peter's success with Beth. And I think that when Gene proposed Peter sing that, I think there was probably a little resistance from Paul at first, but maybe, you know, Gene kind of talked him into it. But, you know, whether he wrote it for Rod Stewart or not, that I don't think Rod could have done it any better than what Peter did it. And one thing that always kind of irked me about that song, even though I love it, is why they had to put Rags for the name of a girl.
I know, right?
I'm like, couldn't you thought of a girl's name besides putting Rags?
Because when I was young, man, I used to swear he was saying Grace, and that's what I always thought it was for the longest time. And Yeah, it's, I don't know, weird.
That would have been a lot better than Rags.
Yeah. I agree, though. I think kind of the bitterness with Paul and Peter started, especially at Hotter Than Hell, because, the way Peter would kind of throw demands. And, because I know there was a story where, I forget what song, but Peter wanted to include a drum solo in there, which they did originally record, but of course it got taken out. And if it goes, I quit the band. Well, of course he didn't quit the band, and but so I think a lot of it came from that kind of crap, and that they had to keep putting up with.
This is number 3 for me, and just some more emphasis on what you were saying, Chris. Whenever I heard him sing Rags, I always thought of it more of like a metaphor for maybe because she's a sailor's daughter, you know what I mean? So maybe she isn't, maybe it's more of a look versus that's her name, you know what I mean? That's what I always thought in my head, that more like a Cinderella cleaning the chimney sweep kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing, like that kind of dress, so kind of drab, not really, but he just loves her, you know what I mean? So that's what I always thought when I would hear that. But I agree with you. I mean, it's my favorite Peter song. It just fits him to a T, his vocals. And then, I mean, just the general feel of the song and the way that it's flowing and it's smooth. It's much lighter, much lighter tone. And I think that this is the kind of song that kind of sticks out to me from most bands at that time, flowing into the 80s even. That could be considered, a rock band like what Kiss is when they would release their ballads and stuff like that, because I would consider this to be a ballad. But it doesn't have the common layout of a ballad. I mean, you hear the ballad compilations that they put out, and all the songs always consist of, hey, I miss you, or I'm heartbroken, or it's all my fault, kind of deal. And this one doesn't have that, but it still has a ballad tone to it, which is why I feel like it sticks out, and I think why I love it so much is because it's not just a common typical, message. It's got a story to it. It gives you the imagery as he's singing with it. Like it's like a long lost love story kind of thing. So I always love that aspect about it. Love like the visual aspect that it gives me when I listen to it as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, Javier, you're right. It was Strange Ways that he wanted to record that drum solo. Well, they did record it, but scrapped it. So who knows if it's still exists anywhere. Hard Luck Woman's my number 4. And I agree. It's right up there with Beth for me as far as Peter songs. Such a great song. I wish they would have really done it live. The version on Live 2 doesn't do justice. Recording it, in an empty warehouse or whatever, making it sound live just didn't work. They should have really done it though. It would have been another good spotlight for Peter. But yeah, I mean, it's just a perfect song. I mean, the beautiful the beautiful acoustic guitars and everything to it. Of course we can't forget to mention, the Garth Brooks cover of the song. I mean, that just has to be mentioned. How good that was. When we did the Kiss My Ass album a few months ago, that was just definitely a standout, and definitely needs to be mentioned here as well. Mike says it's one of his favorite Kiss songs ever. Kiss rules. Damn right.
Yeah. Hard Luck Woman's 8 for me. More just because I had to put it somewhere, and this time the other songs caught me a little more. Don't have anything bad to say about the song at all. In fact, with a Peter sang song this good on the album, why did we even need Baby Driver?
True. That is a good point, man.
Yeah.
All right, so we come to the last track on the album, Making Love.
Making Love for me is number 2. It's like one of my favorite Ace solos. And I think that, some people like Eddie Kramer's production, some people don't. But I think if you're a guitarist, you would love to have Eddie Kramer as your producer. I think he is like the quintessential producer for a guitar player because he just gets the best sound out of the guitar that I think any producer's ever got out of Kiss. And when he works with Ace, I mean, look at Ace's solo album. He produced that, and listen how great the guitar sounds on that album. So Ace and Eddie definitely have a chemistry together. This song for me is very Led Zeppelin-y, I guess, if I'm trying to put a word together. It's a very reminiscent of a Led Zeppelin song. I could see Robert Plant belting this out and Jimmy Page coming in with that killer riff. I mean, this is totally influenced by Led Zeppelin. And I think that might be the closest they ever got to capturing that Led Zeppelin feel, especially from the original group. And I'm not sure, but Ace didn't write any songs on this album, did he? So it's like, yeah, that was weird because he wrote so many songs in the early albums, but I don't think he wrote any on this one. But yeah, for me, Making Love is number 2.
It's number 2 for me as well. Almost happened. It almost had a perfect ending. It was so close. But I mean, for this song, this is a fantastic closer for this album for sure. It's full of energy. It's very upbeat. I mean, just from start to finish, it keeps up that hype. Because for a lot of bands, by the time they get to the end of the album, it can kind of drag, and they did not do that. I mean, they went out with a bang for sure. Great riffs in this song, great drums in this song. But I feel like it just would have benefited so much if it would have just had that solid ending. And for a fade out, I didn't hate it like I normally do. But it would have been just so easy to make it end solidly, because I mean, any one of those could have just been a dead stop. You know what I mean? And they just didn't. And I was like, but you could have so easily, and it would have been perfect. But as far as like the general song and like the way that it's laid out and the just the hype that it has, it's number 2, like for sure.
So do you like to talk about Robert Plant a lot, Chris?
No, Mike despises Robert Plant. He can't stand, and so whenever we talk Led Zeppelin, which is a lot, he just gets so irritated by Robert Plant. He loves the band. He loves the rest of the band. He just can't take Robert Plant.
Javier said Ace saved all the songs he had during this time for his solo albums.
Good point.
He was already plotting. Well, Making Love is number 2 for me as well. This is one of my favorite Kiss songs in all. So, Heavy, before Heavy was really too much of a thing. There wasn't a lot of stuff out there at this time that, could have been considered heavy. But, God, I love how it just takes off. I just had, but the girl said, wait, and then it just goes. And again, the live version just even better, just more sped up, and that energy's there. Love it. And it's just a hell of a way to take out the album. Again, they kind of came up with a little bit of a trick, with the drums there. When it comes back in, and and then you can hear like I don't know what the effect is on that snare, but the snare just is like double loud, and a little bit of reverb under it or whatnot, and such a cool way to take it out. And then again, the way they changed the ending for the live setting is just brilliant too. Just to completely come up with a whole nother ending to the song, and both endings are just amazing in my opinion. So Mike's got a whole lot of love, meow.
When I read that, all I could think of was the Who's line when Colin Mockery, they were doing the Irish drinking song, and every time I got to him, he went meow. Like, that was all I could think of when I read that. I was like, that is awesome.
Yeah, he said
Super Troopers.
He says Robert Plant sounds like a cat.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, I have to admit, I'm not a fan of Robert Plant's live vocals.
No.
But yeah, Making Love #2. Just a fantastic rocker, one of the best Kiss songs in the whole catalog, and a phenomenal way to end the album.
Yep, I'm with Savannah on this. I really wish it hadn't faded out. This would have been a perfect album ender if they had done the live ending on here. I just really dislike albums fading out, really, as the ending. But the song has got the perfect energy. The riff and the verse of this song is absolutely killer. The use of acoustic guitar in this also is one of my favorite times that Kiss put acoustic guitar behind distortion guitars too, and ridiculous. And now, the thing that makes this song number 9 for me, before you all start throwing bricks, is the chorus. I remember talking about this last time when we did this album. The chorus is annoying. I'm sorry. I feel like he could have come up with anything better than saying the song title over and over. It just kind of kills the song for me a little bit.
What about Making Love? Whole lot of love. He was going for his inner Robert Plant, Luke.
Yeah, there you go.
You sound like AC/DC.
Yeah.
Wow, that's it already. Overall rankings. So what do you think overall here, Chris?
Well, I have to kind of calm myself down because being my first Kiss album, it's like having your first girlfriend, the first person you ever fell in love with. You never forget them. So, you automatically remember that first feeling that you fell in love with that person, and it's always
first
a 10.
kiss.
Yes. Oh, that's great. Your first kiss. That's great. That's great. So I immediately think 10, 10, 10, 10. But when I calm myself down a little bit and like, okay, she was nice, but maybe she wasn't as great as I thought at the beginning. But I'll calm down a little bit. I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Are you? Oh, okay. I thought you were going to give your overall review as well.
Yeah, I figured we'll just suddenly change the order now. Why not?
I gave it a 9.
9.
A 9.
9.
I just feel like it's just great from beginning to end. I mean, it doesn't really have a lot of their like really popular songs, like the ones that became the real big hits, like the other like past albums had. But I mean, it has a great mixture of just really great rock songs that just you can bang your head to them and you can sing along with them, and it doesn't skimp on the variety at all. Each song's a little different, kind of in its own way, but then they all fit together kind of like a puzzle. And I mean, you don't want to skip any songs. It's just a great listen.
I also give it a 9. I would say now that this is definitely probably my third favorite Kiss album. Again, I love this whole album from beginning to end. There isn't an album that I would skip a song at this point. Love them all. There are, like you said, a lot of great songs, and there's a lot of songs on here that it's a shame that they didn't get to be as well known per se to the common fan.
Yeah.
Other than like Dr. Love and really, I guess Dr. Love is probably really the only song on this album that I would say a fair weather Kiss fan would know, and that sucks because you would think even Hard Luck Woman should be one, but most people probably would think that it is Rod Stewart singing it if you played it for him. But yeah, just a phenomenally solid album from beginning to end. Like I said, the production's great. I love the drum sound, the guitar, everything about it. It definitely catches that great moment in their career. You could tell they, spent a little more time on this album compared to say like Dress to Kill and whatnot. They definitely took their time to do it right, and it goes to show. Javier's sick of Dr. Love. What do you think about the double platinum version, Javier? Because I don't remember if you were in here at that time, but that's the version I kind of choose anyway. But solid 9 for me. I'm pretty sure that's higher than what I ranked it last time, I think. So it's just like a fine wine. Every time I listen to the album as a whole, I just love it more and more.
I went with 7 for this. Song-wise, this is absolutely a great follow-up to Destroyer. I think these songs sound a little bit more like the first 3 albums than they do like Destroyer. But these, unlike the first 3 albums, have the clear addition of the lessons that they learned while working with Bob Ezrin, I think. The songs are a bit more concise, catchier. I think it was smart of them to work with Eddie Kramer at this point, too. Seeing the success that they had with Alive, and where, you might have thought maybe Bob Ezrin would be a good idea again, knowing how frustrated Peter and Ace were and knowing that Paul and Gene were dedicated to keeping the original group together at this point. It seems smart to work with somebody they were familiar with, somebody they knew did good with their sound. And then I think, obviously Ace enjoyed working with Eddie. He continued to even after leaving Kiss. For me personally, having said all that, though, I find this one of the most difficult albums in the whole discography to give an overall rank. And I think just based on the songs themselves, it would be higher. But for me, I really don't like this production at all. And I talked a little bit about that in the Dress to Kill episode. I think that sort of sentiment should be mentioned again. If they just had to throw out the production on Destroyer, what that lent to their theatrics and what I talked about last week with if you can't get a live sound, then I felt like the bombast Destroyer had kind of gave them that bigger than life feel. If they had to go back to the dry, straightforward sound, I really feel like the Dress to Kill production would have suited these songs better. So the production's just sort of mid-road for me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's, I don't know, like to my ears, it's kind of close to that. Like it's almost like they were trying to get that again, but then they just could not get it based on where they recorded the album. And, it was lacking something. Sometimes I wish that, why didn't they just do every album basically in the same studio and, kind of have that one kind of signature sound across all the albums, at least in those early years. Why not? Javier's like, actually, I'm getting burnt out of the more popular songs after hearing them all these years. I'm now leaning towards deep tracks.
Totally get that.
He's like, you know what? I'm just getting sick of it all. All right, so what about you guys, Javier, Mike, Robbie, if you're still here? What do you guys give this overall? Well, as we're waiting for that, we're going to jump into our True Confessions segment. I'm not going to play the bumper this time. I don't have the room. Mike says, hide your heart, better hold on tight, say your prayers, because there's trouble tonight. Hot in the shade, dedicate.
He's I think he's trying to take a shot at me because he knows how much I hate that album.
Oh, you don't like Hot in the Shade?
No. So I think he's trying to push my buttons.
Javier comes in with annoying for Rock and Roll Over. It's True Confessions. Let's do that while we're waiting for the others to answer here. Chris, what do you got?
Well, my true confession isn't nothing earth-shattering, but I feel like the album cover on Rock and Roll Over is the best album cover in the band's history, even better than Destroyer.
Wow.
And I think, was it Michael Dorrit or something? Dorrit did the album cover, I believe. And he also did the one for Sonic Boom, too, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah. I think it's the best album cover in their history.
Well, funny you say that, because surprise, we have Ken Kelly here with us who wants to rebut that with you. No, just kidding. Dedicated episode to Hot and Shade is what he meant. Hey, it's coming, man. Once we get to that point in the catalog. Yep. Silver Spoon. Robbie gives us a 10.
Yep.
He can't question any songs on the album. It's just a great album from song 1 to song 10.
And Javier gave it a 9.
Annoying.
Yep, got them both in there.
It's bulls.
I actually forgot that I have a clock that has this album cover in it, hanging up on the wall over there.
Nice.
I forgot that I have that. I think I found it. Where did I find it? I found it at a flea market, I think, or something. One time, and they only wanted like $10 for it, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get that." It's really cool.
Oh yeah, I would have handed them the money before they finished.
Yeah. For my true confession, I mean, I couldn't really think of anything that really stood out to me that I really disliked or really loved that I hadn't already said. I guess I finally feel like this album, for the first time since I started doing this with you guys, I finally heard an album that had a great opening, perfect opening, and then that almost perfect ending. If it just would have had that solid cutoff, it would have had a perfect ending and a perfect beginning. I don't hate the ending, like I do usually when they fade out. But I think this, again, it could have just benefited so well with just that solid, cutout versus the, the fade out. And then it would have been, perfect start and a perfect finish.
Mike comes in giving it an 8. Oh, Javier says he has one of those clocks too. He's going to sell it.
Nice.
We'll start an auction right here live.
Right.
Well, my confession, I think Ace should have had a song on this album. I think specifically something like Speeding Back to My Baby would have fit well on this album amongst all of them. Kind of a shame that he didn't really have that. I mean, yeah, obviously he's got the presence as far as playing, but just as far as the songwriting or even vocals. But that's a big one for me. I that would have been a great opportunity for Ace to debut the vocals on this album instead of waiting another album. And on top of that, I think I guess it kind of ties into what I was saying earlier. I wish they would have kind of recorded this a little more along those lines of how they did Dress to Kill. Just go into that, the more proper studio setting instead of, the hall or whatever they were trying to. I don't understand. I don't know. It kind of makes no sense. Like, you've already put out a live album and then you go record a studio album to try to make it sort of sound live in a way, but yet it's not. I don't know. To me, that's just kind of weird. But that's pretty much mine. Robbie says the album cover is in his top 3. Unplugged, MTV Unplugged stage was the album cover. Yeah, true. I always forget that. That is true. Mike Ace definitely did lay down some solos on this album. He definitely had a strong presence when it comes to that. I mean, there's no doubt that Ace was on fire on this album. I was going to say smoking, but I'm sure he was smoking some stuff at this time. So. He was sure snorting on this album. All right, Lukey.
Yes, I know this goes without saying, but I'm gonna preface this by saying that this is just my personal opinion. To me, this is the worst drum sound on any Kiss record.
Wow. Wow. Have you not heard Hotter Than Hell?
I have, yes. Hotter Than Hell's entire production is murky. But something about the
Monster.
drum sound. Yeah.
Oh, Monster.
Still, I think this is worse. Something about this hits me wrong every single time I listen to this album, and it's part of why this album doesn't rank higher for me overall. The drums sound thin, and I think they're way too dry. The bass drum especially has absolutely no punch, and it gets just totally covered up in the mix a lot. So on the drum sound. And then Love Gun's better, but very similar.
Good one. Robbie said, think of I'm in Need of Love on Rock and Roll Over as the bass song. Come on, Simon, says Javier.
Terrible. They should have just skipped this album. They didn't even know what they were doing.
How dare you have an opinion, right?
I know. Apparently.
All right. Do we have these tallies ready to go here?
Yes. It's a good thing Javier's here because he is our resident tiebreaker. So Javier and Mike and Robbie as well. Give me a tiebreaker here between. Whoops, I lost it. Give me a second. I Want You and Hard Luck Woman.
That's tough.
Watch, this will be a tie too.
Yeah, well, there's three of them. I should hope not.
Well, you know, look who they
Mike's,
are.
Yeah, Mike's in the contest. You never know.
Yeah, Mike's.
Okay, so while we're waiting on those,
Mike did put what was it, Motley Crue in the
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore.
Oh, I don't know if you saw it, but last week he put Vince Neil as one of his top 5 vocalists of all time. I almost fell out my chair.
Well, we have 2 Hard Luck Womans. I guess that wins no matter what.
Decides it. I hope you weren't going to vote for I Want You, Robbie. You just got outvoted. Yeah.
Luke, did your dad or Sam or anybody have a true confession this time?
No.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we didn't discount that if they had,
No.
had one.
They only participate in the first 2 episodes.
Yeah. Let's see. So, in addition to the 4 of us that you saw here on the episode today, we got votes from Steve McGowan, who gave this album an 8 out of 10. And his top 3 were Hard Luck Woman, I Want You, and Take Me. We also got votes from Rochelle McGowan, who gave this album a 7. Her top 3 were Making Love, Calling Dr. Love, and Hard Luck Woman. We got votes from my dad. Sorry?
It's just disgusting when you say Steve's top 3 because, just thinking of him and the whole panty thing, and then those are his 3 favorite songs.
Yes. Yeah.
Him dancing in a mirror with his panties on.
I think that's, yeah.
Where you at, Steve?
Yep. Yeah. You've burned that horrible image into Eli's mind, and then you can't even hear.
I don't have a poster hanging on my wall. What are you talking
about? We also got votes from my dad this time. He gave this album a 9 out of 10, and his top 3 were Hard Luck Woman, I Want You, and Calling Dr. Love.
Now, see, that's just
as
disgusting.
I mentioned earlier. Wow. Who's Simon now? I think we mentioned this earlier, but we got votes from Robbie Stars, of course, who gave this album a perfect 10. His top 3 were Making Love, Hard Luck Woman, and I Want You. Eli?
That's disgusting.
There you go. We are also counting in votes from the last time we went through this. So my votes from last time, I gave this album an 8, and my top 3 were Take Me, Love 'Em and Leave 'Em. Yes, I said it. And Calling Dr. Love. We also got Eli's from last time. He gave this one an 8, and his top 3 were Take Me, Hard Luck Woman, and Ladies Room.
Huh.
We got
Was Ladies Room
Dan-
number one?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I don't remember doing that. Huh.
There you go. We got my dad's from last time. He gave this album a 9 out of 10, and his top 3 were Hard Luck Woman, I Want You, and Calling Dr. Love. I think same. Mike.
Oh my God,
Mike, if you could tell me,
Uh,
Mike, if you could tell me who does that song, do not Google it. I will give you $5.
you don't have to take. Oh my God, I remember that song. I don't remember the singer though.
That's good.
Robbie says the drum sound on Rock and Roll Over is really good. In my opinion, the only thing is the squeaky bass drum pedal and Making Love. What? I didn't catch that,
That's
man.
pretty funny.
Me neither. I have to listen now.
Squeaky bass drum pedal.
Yes.
Mike,
We got votes from. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to tell Mike the answer is not Prince either.
And it ain't Michael Jackson.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
At least you're honest.
Tremaine Stewart.
Oh, look at her.
This guy. It's disgusting that you know that.
That's
Is it disgusting that I have the 45?
No, that's amazing.
Oh, horrifying.
It's sitting right next to his DeBarge 45.
Hey, Who's Johnny, man? Who's Johnny is a great song. One of my
That was
favorite.
from the movie Short Circuit, right?
Yep. One of my favorite 80s songs, man. Who's Johnny?
There you go. Let's see. We've also got votes from Steve McGowan from last time. He gave this a 7 overall, and his top 3 were Calling Dr. Love, Making Love, and Take Me. We got votes from Jay Rucker, who gave this album a 10, perfect 10, and his votes, top 3, Baby Driver, Mr. Speed, and Making Love. Good, good across the bar right there. Also votes from... Sorry.
Robbie's relentless. Luke is wrong. He meant to say the drum sound is perfect.
You're wrong, Robbie. I
Oh.
don't know.
Ready for the world. Oh, Sheila. Is that what you're
Hey,
talking about?
Eli,
Yeah.
me and Mike, we went to high school together, and guess who played our homecoming our sophomore year? Ready
What?
for the World.
Seriously.
Yeah,
Oh, Sheila.
yeah.
I bet you guys were bopping and grooving to that.
Oh, yeah, we were.
Dressing like Miami Vice. And
Yes.
Is that it?
No. We got votes from Jay's dad, who also gave this a perfect 10. And his top 3 were Take Me, Ladies Room, and Calling Dr. Love. Jay's niece weighed in, just giving us a perfect 10, but no actual song rankings. We got Thomas, Rain in Adamstown, who gave this album a 9. His top 3 were Ladies Room, I Want You, and Calling Dr. Love. We've also got a perfect 10 from Jacob Hicks, a perfect 10 from Gianni Ottaviani. We've also got 9 from Javier and 8 from Mike Watts here, so that's all going into our score. This album, the rankings ended up with 8.8 average overall out of 10, which ties it with the debut album at the moment, which is pretty interesting. Puts it just 0.1 under Alive, so very high rating for this album. In dead last, I don't think it will be anybody's surprise. See You in Your Dreams. Very, very far from the others. Even that is definitely last. We also let's see, number 9. We got Baby Driver. In 8th
We got
place,
the Cat Man.
Love 'Em and Leave 'Em. Yeah. Number 7, 7th place, Mr. Speed. Did I skip 8? No, I didn't. That was Love 'Em and Leave 'Em. 6th place, Ladies Room. 5th place, Making Love, which makes our top 4 for this week. In 4th place, Take Me. In 3rd place, I Want You. In 2nd place, Hard Luck Woman. And in 1st place, Calling Dr. Love.
Thanks a lot, Javier. You made it number 1.
Calling Dr. Pepper.
That's disgusting.
with a kiss of cherry.
Trust me, I'm a doctor.
Javier, do you have one of those standees that they put out of Gene with the Dr. Pepper? Because I want one. Rock and Roll Ever was the first record Peter used a deep pearl snare drum. Those have one of the best sounds for a snare drum. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, my damn, said Mike.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad y'all have to put up with them this week, not me.
Well, so Chris, tell us what's up with Kiss and Tail. What are you guys coming up down the pike, man? What can people expect?
Well, next weekend we're doing a tournament to determine the greatest band of the 1990s. We already did the 70s and 80s, so next weekend we're doing the 90s. And, of course, we'll put Kiss in there because, that's our main theme of our show, but I don't know how long they'll last.
Nice.
We'll see what happens. So we'll take 32 bands and we'll vote them down till we get to the number one band. And aside from that, coming up within the next month, we're going to do have a tournament the same style with 32 songs, and we're going to determine the worst Kiss song ever.
Oh.
So if you guys want to jump aboard that, let me know.
That sounds groovy.
It's Great Expectations.
No, it's Talk to Me.
Well, yeah, okay, I'll give that to you. Yeah.
I'll probably vote for Read My Body. I don't know. We'll see.
There's a lot of different cowbells in that song, though.
Yeah, that's true.
I gotta say, whatever that one on Sonic Boom that rips off Poison. That's the worst.
Which one was it? Say Yeah or whatever?
No. What was that called?
I remember you saying that, but I don't remember which one.
Yeah. Where is it? Is it Never Enough?
Oh, okay.
I want to say
That
it's
could
Never
be.
Enough.
Never
But yeah.
enough, never enough, never enough. Yeah, another song where they just say the song title over and over.
Javier says Pantera number 1, Iced Earth number 2. There's some votes for you.
Pantera will definitely be in the contest.
So how far down the road are you thinking that worst Kiss song episode will be?
Within 3 to 4 weeks.
All right. Yeah.
So
I guess I'll pencil us in for that, I guess, if you guys want.
Yeah. Savannah, if you want to show up, let me know.
Okay.
Let me see here.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap this up then. Join us next week for one of my favorite albums. In fact, second favorite album, Love Gun. And
you know what we should do? Or
what's
you guys
that?
should do? We should do the corniest Kiss lyrics of all time.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah. We'll call it the cheesiest Kiss lyrics of all time.
Yeah.
I'll put my log in your fireplace. How about that?
Yes. And
Come
put your
on, lick
hand in
my candy
pocket,
cane.
Grab on. Yes. Grab onto
Yeah.
my rocket. Like all of those can go in there.
Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll
So
do a
many good ones.
cheesy lyric one. That'd be great.
Can we give an honorable mention to Black and Blue? That one song, it was like, I'm a snake, I'm going to bite you, or whatever it said.
Yeah.
Oh, my
I
God.
forgot about that. I have finally managed to put that out of my mind.
Well, now it's
I
back.
forgot all about that.
Mm.
All right. So, again, next week, Love Gun. Yep. Robbie, Love Gun. So, man, Robbie, Mike, 100,000 watts, Javier, who else popped in? I think Dan was here at the very beginning. thank you all for popping in, man. This was a fun one. Chris, thanks again for coming on. As always, the door is open. Mike, we need to have you come on too next time. Be a blast.
Yep.
Javier, let us know if you want to come on soon. Anybody's welcome as always. So just drop us a line and we will definitely get you in here.
Thank you for letting me be on here. I had a great time as always.
Absolutely, brother. So can't wait for the next one in your neck of the woods.
Yes, sir.
We're looking forward to that as well. So, all right. So everyone, take care. Be safe. Have a great weekend. Thanks for watching as always, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.